to beat the mind game.
Hello friends, and welcome back to Pray You Only Live Once. In the last episode, we stepped into the shoes of Morgan Yu on board the Talos 1 space station, where we've been an apparently willing participant in a series of experiments that repeatedly wiped our memory for science. Now, we got to see the first part of a video that Morgan made in the past to remind his future self about what happened, but our brother Alex cut us off from the media server, and restoring connectivity is going to mean a trip to the hardware labs. I mean, come on, I troubleshoot server issues in my day job, and now I'm doing it over Thanksgiving holiday? Thanks, Alex. Before heading out, let's do a quick bit of maintenance. Since we're playing with survival options on, weapons wear down, and some of them weren't in great shape when I picked them up to begin with. We got plenty of spare parts, and we're about to get a lot more, so let's take care of that. After getting a few key upgrades last time, we looted most of the lobby and cleared it of mimics, for now. But most importantly, we stepped right back into Neuromod Vision, where we used the access code for volunteer quarters to sneak into fabrication through a crawl space. That gave us the power to fabricate unlimited neuromods, provided we had the materials to make them. And let's be clear, neuromods are essentially skill points. Provided we have the necessary crafting materials, we have the power to fabricate an effectively infinite number of level ups. In other words, the only limit to how powerful we can become, or how quickly, is how much of a loot goblin we are. This isn't any wonder I love this game. That means under almost all circumstances, collecting stuff to make neuromods is our top priority, just behind not dying. We need to be killing every enemy we can safely kill, looting everything that isn't nailed down, and feeding it all to the recycler often in order to keep our inventory clean, so that we can pick up more loot. That means that before moving on, I wanted to grab a few things that I left behind last episode. The video we watched at the end of the first episode gave us the code to the safe, but it's the same every time, so you can grab this stuff from the beginning. I just didn't in order to save space, and because the chipset in here is a scope chipset, which won't do us any good really until we have the cycloscope, which is much later. Let's see, hypo fabrication plan, some hypos, some very welcome exotic material, and pistol critical. Oh man, I really want the cycloscope now, but that's going to have to wait for a bit, because we are not ready to delve into that part of the game quite yet. Now, I mentioned before that the lobby is clear of mimics for now. One of the things that can make Prey challenging is that the environment doesn't always stay the same. Activating certain conditions, quest stages, or other triggers can cause new enemies to spawn or respawn. So for example, last episode I mentioned that going to this entrance of the TranStar exhibit would spawn a tough enemy. That's only true if you go to this entrance first. Because I went to this other entrance first, that phantom will never exist. And by the way, I think I'm certain why it is that I'm hearing flames, and why I also heard what sounded like the sound effect of a phantom dying. I haven't ventured that far in, but sometimes phantoms or other enemies will cause damage to the environment around them while trying to get through obstacles, and I think one of the phantoms blew up one of the explosive containers up there and possibly killed themselves. And if that's the case, then, well, that makes my job easier. Now, another of those triggers is playing the first part of the video on the terminal. If you watch the very end of the episode 1, you might have seen me kill a new mimic at the office entrance. That was a brand new mimic, and it only spawned in exactly then. That quest stage also makes a trigger to this previously open entrance, which I had only partially blocked off. And you'll notice that the glue here is in a state that, quite frankly, the player can't really do. These are very custom models for the glue. In any event, that'll give me the glove that I forgot here, and now, as a result of that change to the environment, we have Martin Giro in here, who has given us some shotgun shells and a suit repair kit and a glue cannon, all of which I am quite happy to recycle. With all that done, let's start heading onwards to the hardware labs. Now, before we go there, there's a couple pieces of prep that I want to do. First of all, we still got a turret friend down here, and so I'm going to go grab them and put them in the place that they need to be.
Error log submitted.
Oh, don't worry about it, you're fine. So, when we come back from the hardware labs, a couple of greater mimics are going to spawn right about here, imitating a couple of office items, and I'm pretty sure that they do that whether or not those office items actually exist. I think they're just scripted. But another dangerous enemy is going to spawn in this other room here. Now, I want this turret in this place to be able to have line of sight on the mimics down here, but I don't want this dangerous enemy being drawn in towards the office area. So I'm going to lock this door, because phantoms can't open locked doors. And then we're going to place a recycler charge right about here. And another one, I say, right about here. He paths around quite a lot, and I want to make sure he catches at least one of them, if not both, if the first one doesn't get him. And then last episode, I think I saw a mimic actually get away. Yep, there he is. How about you just eat that? Okay, what have we got here? Some Nerf bolts. I've got to stop calling them that. A couple of spare parts. And here's our mimic. And just take care of the obstacles. Let's head into Hardware Labs. Okay. Now, the Hardware Labs is about to introduce us to a brand new enemy, the Corrupted Operator. A lot of people make the mistakes of going after these with firearms, since we just got a pistol and a shotgun. That is not the play. They're extremely resistant to that kind of damage. Beating them apart with the wrench, however, works great, as does any kind of electrical damage, so the stun gun is absolutely goated against them, as it is against so many other things. Now, there's a bunch of stuff over here in this corner. I'm not going to loot it quite yet, because it's going to take a lot of space. Same with the stuff over in this room. We'll come back to this room. There's another operator over here I want to make sure we deal with before he gets too close to that electrical junction. As soon as they say destroyed on the little pop-up, definitely get away from them because they do explode. And I'm sure you saw the mimic scamper over here. He's scripted to run over there and turn into one of those two little things. Not to worry, we will take care of him momentarily. For now, let's grab a bunch of random crap that's sitting on top here. For some reason I always have to jump to get that one. Now let's see. Good. Let's grab the area map. And then unlock the security locker out here. And aside from some parts and some random junk and glue, that's going to give us a turret. And we love turret friends. So turret friend, I'm told there is a mimic in this room. Would you care to do something about that? Thank you.
Scanning target. No alien material detected.
We'll give it time. We'll have plenty of alien material by the end of this. Oh, now it's time for the last stand of Thaddeus York. This is a nice little set piece here. He nicely demonstrates exactly how to immobilize an enemy through glue, how to gain access to new environments through glue, and how not to keep track of how long an enemy stays glued. 07, Thaddeus. Nice try. Aside from that, there's... Oh, yeah. That's right. A couple used cigars down there. That's some organic. Are they synthetic, too? I can't recall. In any event, they're worth picking up for now. Same with these flowers. There will come a point where I'm going to stop picking up flowers, but for now, they pad our supply of organic. Go. And we've got all of the random debris out of this room, but there's one more very important thing to get. And that's to remind ourselves about verticality. And we are rewarded with a neuromod. Thank you very much, sir. Now, this next room is a bit dangerous. One of the more dangerous rooms we've gone into yet. There's a phantom out in the main area. And good, he's right exactly where I wanted him to be. So I'm going to unlock this. And let the turret deal with him.
Scanning target. No type of material.
That's fine, though. We're going to back out for the moment.
A lot of station tech starts here. Lab equipment, special parts requests, prototypes. We should be able to fix your looking glass terminal from Dr. Calvino's workshop.
Now, there's a phantom in the upper level, and the reason why I'm going this way is because going out into the center of the main area puts you at extreme risk of being seen by him and hit by his area attacks. Now, just in case you didn't know that you could put out fires with glue, they've got a little glue canister refill there just to give you a hint of what you might want to try doing. Oh, and of course, don't have room for that wrench because things have arranged themselves stupidly, but that's fine. Let's Grab a spare heart behind here. And then succeed at platforming for once. Then just take a casual stroll around here, keeping an eye on the position of the Phantom, make sure that he's not going to snipe at us. Now be very careful going in here. Enemies will see through floor grates. They do not block a line of sight. This guy... Actually, let's cancel that one to climb. Yeah, there we go. Well, that was risky. I could have damaged the recycler there and I would have had to repair it with spare parts, but that's fine. It is dealt with. Okay, let's drop off junk. That is not junk. That is the result of junk. There we go. I do wish I could get rid of the press and hold actions, but it is what it is. Okay. And now that we're seeing a trend in which fruits we're randomly getting more of, for now, since I've got a larger stack of apples, I'm just going to keep those. I don't use enough food to make it worth keeping multiple types. And now while that's recycling itself, we're going to just go around and grab a bunch of other crap, including the stuff we left on the floor. Some bolts and a spare bolt caster. Now, a funny thing about the Hunter's Bolt Caster. People have complained that there is no recipe for spare parts for fabricating them, and that is true. There isn't. However, we will shortly get a recipe for fabricating the Hunter's Bolt Caster itself, and if you dismantle that, you can do so for 1 spare part, and it only costs 2 synthetic to craft 1. So effectively, you can craft spare parts 1 at a time for 2 synthetic. I've got a chipset in here, heavy gear optimizer. That's all right. I'm not going to make space for it at the moment, but yeah, eventually that'll be nice. If there's room for it and I don't have anything better. Okay. I think that's this area down here cleared out, so let's just quickly drop off everything I just picked up. And it looks like I've got some weapon repair kits. So as soon as I've collected all my recyclable material, let's take a look at what they can do for us. So let's see, shotgun right now, yeah, let's get a little more ammo capacity. And reload speed as well. And then we've got one more, so I'm going to use that to increase the power of the... Actually, the power... No, I'm going to increase the recharge rate of the stun gun. So recharge rate is a little bit of a misleading name. What that actually does, for the most part, the main thing that you'll notice it does is it decreases the time that it takes to charge up the stun gun. There's less of a delay before it fires, which is huge. Now, Thaddeus was kind enough to leave us a neuromod and some materials in here. And he's also left us his spare glue gun. He's also left us his spare glue cannon and a transcribe.
Dr. Thorstein, where are you? Machine shop. I was just... I heard an explosion. Forget that. Grab whatever you can and get to my office. We're evacuating. What? What should I... Neuromods, exotic material. Just hurry. Meet me in my office. Yes, sir. And bring a glue gun.
It was a nice try, Thaddeus. You did good. Just kind of forgot that enemies don't stay glued for too long. And given that you're all learning this on the fly, you can be forgiven for not knowing that. But all right. That's this optional side area cleared out. And we've gotten some very nice rewards for it. Got some green tea there. I'll take that. Should have recycled it, but it's fine. I've got plenty of space. Now let's get our quest update.
Calvino probably has a key card. You can locate him, or what's left of him, with the security roster.
Now you can get into the machine shop through this area, but it's a little bit riskier than the route that I like to go, and I'm not going to go there. For now, let's give a wide berth to the upper area. And loot what we got from this Phantom. Oh, quite a bit of good stuff on him, actually. And shotgun and combat focus at the ready, because a scripted mimic is going to run past us here, and it was not his best choice of the day. Let's see, where is this guy? Okay, good. Ways off. Sometimes he paths around a bit differently. Sometimes he'll come close enough for me to be able to stun him from here. Other times, he'll first path in front of those pipes. And if he does, I just want to get him worn down a little bit. Let's give him a minute to see where he's going. Oh, good. Yes, please do set yourself on fire, my friend. Ah, damn, what the hell? Oh, that was not good. Oh, that was super not good. Oh. I'm not sure how I got flames from him from that distance. I thought I would have been far enough away, but okay. That is my first damage of the run. That's 3 points of fire damage, and that's not great, but we can absorb it. It was not a bad hit. I just need to be much more mindful of hazards going forward. And speaking of being mindful of hazards, there is a mimic in this room, but sometimes what he has chosen to mimic can vary a bit. He's somewhere on or around this table. So let's look for duplicate items. I think both of those cups are supposed to be there. Maybe. I don't love this. Okay, you know what? I've got a better solution to this. I'll be right back to deal with you, good mimic. Wonder if perhaps I caught him in crossfire. That's possible. I thought for sure there was an explosive container right out here. Maybe I'm misremembering. No, I'm misremembering. That's fine. Let's set up our turret here.
Deploying.
And grab Okabe's transcribe.
Hello? Hey, it's Langley. Are you, is there anything weird going on over there?
No, like what?
I don't want you to panic.
What is going on, Langley?
Not sure yet. Security's running all over the place. So,
Wait a
everyone's
minute.
still working there?
I guess. I don't know. I've been in
There
the lab
you
all
are.
day. Hang on. I'm looking now. I don't...
Okay.
What was that?
Oh my god, I think we just lost 2 labs.
What?
I have to go.
Fortunately, you're going to lose a lot more by the end of the day, Mew. Sorry about that. Ah, wrench there. Didn't notice that. Okay, grab some candy. And over here on the ground is the password for the group workstation. That's going to give us a few things. It is going to give us the key code to the machine shop supply closet, but we don't really need that. There's other ways into it. Some interesting things about glue. Most of this is just going to be jargon to people who aren't scientifically familiar with it, but the important word here to take note of is vitreophobic. That means that it doesn't stick to glass. And you'll notice this if you try to glue any kind of glass surface. It'll stick to the frame around it, but it'll bounce right off the glass. In fact, that wasn't great, because that is blocking some loot here. Thank you. I want the glue canister. And then finally, a very cute note here from one shift to another about a competition they were having to build the best possible glue snowman that they could. And I'd say that they succeeded magnificently, because Mr. Gluey McGlueface here is a work of art. Unfortunately, he's a work of art that's composed of recyclable material that I want. And thankfully, nobody has come out to object to what I did to their work of art, so let's move on. Oh, that's right. That was the explosive canister I was probably thinking of. I was sure that there was one around that I could throw at that table, but, you know, it's fine. He's dealt with. It was just a desk phone lying on the floor. Oh, hey, that's a nice random drop. If you hadn't noticed, or if you don't know, most of the contents of containers like these are going to be random. There is obviously a loot table, but it can vary quite dramatically in terms of what you get. So there's the key code to this door over here leading to Dr. Thorstein's office, 2009. And Thorstein's office is not a safe place. Fortunately, that's... Let me take a look at my mouse sometime, because sometimes that keeps popping up when I don't expect it to.
I think that's the director
That's fine.
of the lab. I have the sense he resented you. Unfortunate.
Well, unfortunately, January's sense of what Thorstein thought about us is a random number generator, because it is different every time, and it doesn't seem to be based on anything whatsoever related to what the player has done or anything else. So it somewhat undermines the value of that comment, but it's a cute little detail. Now, in here, we've got a safe with a cryptic note, ESZE. Now, astute observers will have noticed the periodic table over here, so Einsteinium and Xenon have atomic weights of 99 and 54 respectively. That makes our key code 9954 always, with some yummy stuff in it. Okay, I think that is the last of what we have in here. Yep. Okay, and then just out here and down the ways, and we've got a few things, including a mimic. Let's say we've got a few things down here to grab. And a wrench, apparently. Do I have any... no upgrade kits that I can grab. Probably should have recycled before now, but that's fine. Actually, is there any organic material that I have? Yeah, I've just got one of those, so we can drop that, and we'll drop the cigar. There we go. I'd much rather have the wrench. Oh, almost missed the spare parts, too. And grab both of these. And, yep, unlock that. And then I think I'm going to run out of space over here. Be unable to grab one or two things. But I'll grab what I can. Nope, that's all good. Oh, nope, except for the trash can, which contains crap I just dropped. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Let's just run over to the recycler, and let's run over to the recycler without tripping the alarm. Ah! Unexpected mimic is unexpected. No, you don't. Asshole. Okay, that could have been bad. If he had immediately attacked, that would have been a nasty hit. I was completely unprepared for that, and I was not paying attention to duplicate objects, so that is on me. Whew, okay. Lucky. Very lucky. That is pure luck that I probably didn't take close to 30 points of damage off of that. But okay. Yeah, let's reset the checkpoint. That was completely unnecessary, too, because I just wanted to reset it because I didn't want to listen to the damn thing. So, yeah. Lesson learned. Hopefully. That is actually a very important healing item. One I'm very unlikely to need, but all the same, I don't want to be without it if I do need it. Traumas, so much like suit repair kits, traumas are going to be inflicted when you receive a large amount of damage in a short time from a particular damage type. So because of that, unless I get a really nasty hit, I'm unlikely to get a trauma. So for the most part, they're not a big deal, but I want to be able to solve them if I can. Now that that's all taken care of, let's head upstairs. Because while I was dealing with all the nasties over there, there are a few important bits that I left over here. No, not the pistol or the bullets, but this smuggler supply cache, which is placed just a little high. There we go. That is, how many neuromods do I have now? 6, that's fine. I'm going to hang on to them for now. And grab that med kit and its fabrication plan. And a handful of things in here. And now for the most chill mimic ever. This guy is just going to stroll right over there until he turns into the thing that he wants to turn into, and he just does not give a damn. No fucks given about the player until you come over there. And that is... I was going to say it's his mistake, but that throw didn't work. So, now it's his mistake. And then I think the one still standing is the real one. That mimic can die too. Now, this room. This is fun. Okay, what have I got? Have I got recyclers on 6? If not, then they need to be. Now, there's a couple of corrupted operators and a lot of mimics in here. And there's also a place over there that I want to get open. So since that operator is right exactly where I want him to be right now... Actually, that was almost perfect. That was perfect. So those are leverage 3 boxes. And of course, I could save up for leverage 3, or I could use the crowbar trick to use a leverage 1 item to knock him out of the way. But I want to use the recyclers against those guys anyway, so that just all works out. And I've got a lot of the recycler charges, so I might as well. And speaking of which, we've got some rads here we need to take care of. And we'll grab all of that in a minute. But first, Mr. Mimic needs to be dealt with, and he was going to drop down in there and be a real pill with all the stuff in there. But now that he's not in there... Oh, first, let me grab this stuff. But now that he's not in there, everything in here is free for the taking because there are no other enemies. Including a weapon repair kit, some glue, a suggestion to upgrade the reload on the glue, and most importantly, some neuromods. We like neuromods. Okay, that's 8 of them. Good, good, good. Alright, now, this little guy over here. I could throw a recycler in there, but I really do not want to do that, because that's going to destroy a whole lot of loot that I would like to have. So first, primed, stun him, and then beat him until he says destroyed, then run away. Very good. I'll grab all of these, and I believe there is a very sneaky mimic here. Yes. Yes. I wasn't sure who he was, so that's generally the best way to take him out. That's fine. It only requires a little bit of glue to repair that. There we go. And then, speaking of explosive canisters, let's grab this one here. Excuse me, Mr. Corrupted Operator. I'd rather not waste ammo on you. I mentioned there was a lot of loot in here I want to get. If you have Dismantle, every single one of these operator carcasses in here is a gold mine. There's still stuff even if you don't have Dismantle, but with it, absolute gold mine. Definitely want to grab all of this stuff before you throw a recycler in here or anything like that. Especially Typhon Lures and Neuromod. Okay. Now, I'm going to do something that I normally do not do in this run, and I'm going to save first. And I'm going to save for one very specific reason. Because I don't tolerate physics bullshit. And sometimes, when picking up operator carcasses, the game will just damage you. That's just a thing that happens. The game will just damage you. So I'm doing this the most careful way that I know. But if I receive damage from an operator carcass, I will reload that quick save. And that is the only circumstance in this entire run where I will accept doing that. Because physics bullshit is bullshit. Like, I've seen it do upwards of 50 points of damage. It's ridiculous. So, yeah, that's not going to happen to me. Fortunately, it did not. Now, let's grab a recycler charge. And toss it right in the middle of that mess. I didn't get all of them, but that's fine. That was not quite worth it, I'd say. Not quite worth it. It did not give me back quite as much as I would have to spend to create a recycler charge, but that's fine. I won't be able to create those for some time, so just getting any back at all right now is good. Oh, I probably should have dropped this guy in there as well. That's fine. Okay. Now, there's a bunch of other stuff in here. Now, most of the mimics in here will only come out on a trigger. A very, very specific trigger that I'm about to set. Let's first grab all of this loot. Now, Yeah, right about here. Hear that? That chittering is one of the tells that a mimic is nearby. But those mimics are not actually down here. As you might guess from the fact that I was looking up, they're on that platform there. And I am about to trigger them to come out. But before I do, let's see, where does this need to be? Right about, yeah, that'll do. Set up a couple of explosives canisters. And then grab friend turret. And set them up here where mimics can't get to them.
Deploying.
And now, let me first run in here and just clear out a couple of emails. Most of what's on this terminal is just lore. I was talking about the Hunter's Boldcaster. It was apparently a pet project of these three fellows. Well, these two fellows and this young lady here, all of which were doing some very, very important work here at Talos 1. And missing operator parts is a hint to exactly how Morgan was getting the parts to build January and other such things. And this was about the failures in the last test. They checked everything and there was no hardware issue. Well, not surprising, because it was not a hardware issue, it was sabotage. But finally, relevant to the mimics, don't worry, that's just a script thing that happens. Let's move this cargo. Well, there's clearly one around. I heard him pittering around right over there. Don't fool me. You don't fool me. Okay.
Servers offline.
I don't love that one got away. I don't love that at all. Let's get an update here while we're hoping that this guy will show himself.
Before you can spacewalk. While engineered as a safety measure, it's irrelevant when the enemy is already inside the station. If you do go out there, I wouldn't stray far. The Typhon may have spread to the exterior. And remember, other airlocks you find will have to be opened from the inside first. Last thing, you don't have a propulsion system for your suit yet. You'll need one to maneuver.
I was waiting until January's dialogue was open there because I want to be able to hear everything. So I've looted 2 mimics so far, I think. And by the way, that neuromod there on that guy is the reason I don't just throw a recycler grenade into the middle of all of them. Taking a med kit. Just in case this asshole leaps out at me. Okay, well, I don't know where this guy is, but I've got a turret set up with overview of this entire area, so that's fine. That'll do. And I don't need to venture over there because I've already cleared everything.
Target, no Typhon material detected.
So then I wonder... Now, those signs are not. Those signs are fine. Those signs are normal. Heard him. Okay. Alright. Now the mimic's gone. And that means that I can happily get all of this stuff. I did that way because if I swung my wrench, I'd stand a chance of hitting that radiation container. And I really don't want to let the rads out. I have... Yeah, thank you. I'll take that mineral. Okay. I believe that is this room cleared out for now, or damn near. There's a few things up above to get, but I will get to those in a minute. For now... okay. And here's just a few emails more about the Hunter's Boltcaster. They were obviously going to be trying to use it for some sort of fun game. That actually sounds like a blast, playing some sort of dart gun or a laser tag game in the Arboretum. Amazing. And yeah, we've got rads to deal with. Now here's where you can first get the kit, or the fabrication plan for the Hunter's Boltcaster, along with its ammunition. I believe there's another place you can get it back in the Neuromod division, but you won't have the ability to do that. At least not before you get here, usually. Okay, let's toss everything in here. Roll that around as need be. Great. And now let's finish looting this upper area. Got some materials here, and the fabrication plan for the propulsion system that January was talking about. And more emails here about the Hunter's Boltcaster. They were clearly spending a lot of time and energy on this project. And this psychotronics satellite is in the moon bay down there. That is not something we'll be able to get into without Repair 3, and we won't need to for a long time. Okay, I think that's everything. Let's toss all this in the recycler, along with that packaged food. And it has been a while since we've been to a fabricator, so let's see. We've got enough to make, looks like, 5 neuromods. And of course, since I've been diligently picking up trash of just about every kind and recycling duplicate weapons and whatnot, I've got plenty of mineral and synthetic, especially the synthetic coming from the suit repair kits and whatnot. Alright. Well, that has given us 15 neuromods, and that puts us in a very good position. So for now, we're starting to run out of inventory space a bit more often, and we're going to need a lot more of it soon. So let's get that. And it is also time to pop back up to the scientist tree and get the first 2 levels of hacking. We've got one last key upgrade to craft for now, and that's this Artax propulsion system. It's our quest objective, and it's going to give us a jetpack. Well, it's going to give us a glide pack. It can be made to be more like a jetpack, and we'll get to that. But for now, it's at least good enough to glide through areas like this, to gain access to places we might not otherwise go to, and perhaps most importantly, to completely negate falling damage from just about any height. As long as I feather the controls properly, and as long as I am expecting the fall and can react to it, I can avoid falling damage just by hitting the jetpack. It's wonderful, because falling damage is lame. Nobody likes falling damage. Now, up here on top, we have some of the last bit of loot in this area. Everyone here in the shop was having a lot of fun, especially Clive. I see you, Clive. I see you. But okay, we've got a bit of prep to do before we head out into space. Space is one of my favorite things in Prey, but as soon as we return from this spacewalk, it's going to spawn some dangerous enemies in this room and out in the main area. So first thing I want to do is set up this turret in a more advantageous place, or at least what I hope will be a more advantageous place. And that's with its back to this here. Upright, ideally. I said upright. There we go. And I'm also going to hack it. Now, I mentioned I was going to talk about the hacking minigame. It has been disabled with a mod called one-key hacking, or something along those lines. Anyway, point being, it's been disabled. I never really liked it very much anyway, but I've done it hundreds and hundreds of times by now. I never want to see it again. I really don't. It's just not fun for me. So, thankfully, that has been disabled. Hacking minigames, it's got a lot of technical problems, particularly that it doesn't control well on digital controls like a keyboard. It seems to have been made for an analog controller. But also, I believe that hacking minigames should be thought game. Whoa. Back in the room. Yep, that was close. I believe hacking minigames should be thinking games. They should engage you mentally. They should be a puzzle of some sort. The hacking minigame as Prey is nothing more than a bouncy maze that you navigate. It's an Atari game. It's terrible. And I apologize if you enjoy that. If you enjoy it, that's great. I'm glad you're getting enjoyment out of it. I can't stand it, and I never want to see it again. So thankfully, it is no longer a part of my game. However, what is a part of my game, thankfully, is space.
Microgravity detected.
Oh, we're in space. We're in space. Space. I love space. Sorry. And this is honestly one of the best zero-G experiences in any video game, bar none. I think only Hard Space Shipbreaker has possibly done it better of the games that I've played. It's glorious. It looks and feels magnificent. Look at the station. The entire station is there. It's just, the entire station is modeled. You can explore every inch of this if you want. Not safely, but you can explore it. Now, I've made a couple of minor changes. Normally in Prey, there's a space dust effect that plays and kind of sort of streams by you in your direction of travel. It's really fake and I don't like it. I've never liked it when games do that. So I've removed that effect, which I think just looks so much more natural and feels so much better. Another thing that feels better is the movement when I remove the inertia dampening. Normally, the player and all other objects have a certain amount of dampening that means they'll stop moving after a time. It's why all this debris is just kind of hanging here in space instead of continuing to float off there. I don't like that effect on the player. It feels bad to me. It just feels so much better to have to 100% control every bit of my movement and to be able to just drift like this. It's great. I love it. Now, there are a handful of things out here in the immediate vicinity, but what we really want right now, at least the quest objective, is here inside of this hull breach. And we're looking for Dr. Lorenzo Calvino's body to get his key card, and there he is. Now, first thing I want to do is repair this breach, and before I do that, let's grab some stuff off of him.
You found him. Not surprising. Well done.
And drag his body in here. Because this room here is one of the few areas in the game, one of the only ones, in fact, as far as I'm aware, where you can transfer items. Oh my god, that's loud. What is that sound effect? Where you can transfer items between the indoor and the outdoor, or vice versa. As soon as we repair the breach failsafe, that door is going to slam shut, and anything in there is going to transfer to the interior map. It's not particularly useful, but if you're really desperate for recyclable materials, you could move all of these in here one by one in order to recycle them with a grenade, assuming that you didn't want to do that out here. But whatever. That is not a good use of time. So I'm going to collect all of these spare parts along with all of the other random loot. And while I'm doing that, let's listen to a transcribe.
This is Dr. Calvino.
What's up?
I'm feeling ill. I'm not myself today. I think I won't be in for my shift at all.
Okay. Do you still want me to finish this array? I fabricated a shit ton of glass.
Array? I don't recall.
You asked me to set up a new array.
You must have misunderstood. Are you... Honestly, I prefer if you left my experiments alone in my absence.
Well, look, I have a message you left me. Seriously, I would not have made all of this if you hadn't...
No, of course. I remember now. Let's just, for the time being, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter?
Let's talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah, Dr. Calvino was having some issues with his memory. Now, most of the exterior is very, very dangerous. There are enemies out here that are not gated based on your progression. They are about as dangerous as it comes. However, there are areas that are relatively safe, or at the very least that have manageable dangers for what we want to accomplish here. So this little crawl space, for example, has no threats whatsoever in it, at least not until later in the game when things will spawn in here, I believe. But that's going to give us a neuromod and some other very nice stuff. Now, the other thing is a maintenance hatch that is straight back from this part of the hardware labs. And there's no dangerous enemies here as long as you follow this path just straight back. And keep an eye out for those glowing red lights around the hull, but be careful which ones you venture into or how closely you approach the superstructure. Now there is... Actually, I think I'm going to glue this asshole. Okay, now that he's drifting. Now I can risk approaching close enough. And I'll just shock this thing to death. I have to be very careful with those. Operators can shock you from a great distance, much further away than you think they can. There we go. Alright, now those two bastards are dealt with. I'll have those spare parts, thank you. And where was he? Is that? Yeah, there it is. Okay, I don't remember. I shouldn't open things I don't remember, and I'm trying to remember which hatch it is that leads where I want. Nope, not that one, not that one. Another Nermod, thank you. And then out here... Okay. Yeah, this is it. This is it. However, I have to be very careful, because patrolling out in that direction is a technopath. Thankfully, he doesn't come quite this far in, because that's given us a very powerful weapon. Oh, I hear him. I hear him. So let's get the hell out of here. I think we have definitely outstayed our welcome in this crawl space, but that's fine because he cannot follow through there. And now we're back out in the open. And out in the open is where we want to be. Because given enough time and distance, we don't need to fear any Typhon that's out here in the open. Nothing out here can thrust faster than we can. However, what that does mean is that we really need to avoid going into the superstructure if we can help it, and we need to avoid attracting attention and drawing things away from where they initially spawned in. Now, there's a very, very important upgrade that I need to get out here, but it is literally out in deep space, and there is no marker at this time in the quest to get it. We will get a marker much, much later in the game. However, because this thing is spawned in here from the beginning, we can take advantage of that. Now, there's that technopath I was talking about. He's on the other side of this of the structure, and I'm pretty sure he can't see us from there. We would like to keep it that way. Now, what I want, I need to start slowing down here, because as soon as I get towards the right side of the roof of Nermod Division over there, right about here, then I need to turn around and look for an object in space. I think I'm not far enough out yet. So now let's face this so I can stay going in the right direction, and then thrust backwards. Whoop, that's not backwards. That's backwards. Okay, now we're going to continue drifting. There it is. That's what we're looking for. This is the body of Grant Lockwood, an employee who was terminated and fled the station. And he fled the station with some very, very nice stuff. And unfortunately, that did not work out terribly well for him. Now, I'm going to go into this search just so I can stop the rads from accumulating. This is what we wanted. The RTAX Propulsion System Gen 2. It will not make us go faster, but it will be very important inside pressurized environments. Excuse me. Now let's grab these as well. Now I need to go backwards, and thrust towards the station. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We're not accumulating anymore. Rads will go down over time. Now, we have a few choices here. We could just go straight back inside, and that's probably the smart thing to do. However, there are a few more things that we can get relatively safely. And how's inventory looking? Inventory is just fine. Just fine. So good. So let's head over there toward this pod. Now, there's a very, very cool shuttle up there, but that shuttle has a weaver hanging around near it. We don't want to go near that. We want nothing to do with that shuttle right now. Need to pay attention because I've lost track. Okay, good. Good. Here we are. Now it's slowed down. And now... yeah, we'll use glue for this. So let's take out these cystoids over here. Just give them a piece of glue. I'm staying far enough away from them just so that they won't disperse and activate. It's still not the easiest thing to hit these tiny little targets at this distance in space. Okay. It's good enough. There's still a few there, I think, but there's few enough of them that I can just take them out as I get close. Okay. Unless I did, in fact, take them out. Okay, yeah. Looks like I took them out. That's great. That's fantastic. And getting into this pod, give us a shit ton of food, most of which will end up being recycled, along with some basic supplies. Nothing really exciting, but that's a lot of stuff that's going to add up. It's well worth it. Okay, now let's reorient ourselves. Where are we? Yeah, there's crew quarters. I think there is a hull breach in the crew quarters that we could check out. I am unsure if I want to risk doing so at this time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I don't want to do so at this time, in fact. And I definitely don't want to risk running into that Weaver either. Why is he strayed so far from the shuttle? That's not awesome. Okay, so we need to get back to Hardware Labs, which is directly on the other side of all of this. However, that's going to take us past the shuttle bay, and there's that technopath who is patrolling very, very diligently back and forth in front of it. So I think... yeah, probably best just to blow past the station on this side. The technopath is not going to come up there from this distance. We're fine. Just keep an eye on the superstructure, make sure that we're not exposing ourselves to anything on the way past. Nothing's activating behind us. We're good. Okay. Yeah, sorry, this is just zen for me sometimes. Just floating in space like this, looking at this incredible structure. Now, there's one more thing I want to do over here, and it's something that I honestly should have done before I left this area, but it's fine. We've got the sun on this side of the station now, so it's going to make it a bit easier. So what we're going to do is we're going to adjust our course over in this direction, over to this side of Psychotronics. And keep an eye over there because there is a telepath that we do not want to get close to in aggro. But if we just carefully float ourselves between this gap here. There's an engineering operator here who later on will be corrupted, I'm pretty sure. And there is a hull breach that we can fix with glue. Make sure, yep, I don't see any air escaping. So, how about you? You have all the awareness in the world. You have 360 awareness. You're a robot. Just no. And then just gracefully float our way back over to Hardware Labs. And head on inside. Interesting. I was expecting an etheric phantom in here, but I think perhaps he is triggered by somewhere that I chose not to explore this time around. And if so, that's fine. That's fine. I don't want to deal with him in here at this point in the game. I'll be much better equipped to do so later. But all right. That said, there is most definitely going to be a phantom out here. I'm about 99% certain of it. Yep. And it looks like he's currently contending with the turret. And didn't do so well against it. That's excellent luck. Sometimes he is able to take out that turret, but if he does, then I just bait him over here and let him walk through the electricity. It's fine. Also grab all the loot from those destroyed operators. And is it this one? No. Where are you? There you are. Weapon repair kit. Let's see what we can do with that. Especially since we just... Oh my god, my inventory is horrible. Alright, before I do anything else, I'm going to go recycle and clear my inventory, so just give me a minute here. Much better. Oh yes, that is so much better. And in addition to collecting a lot of loot out there, we also unlocked quite a few things. We'll get to some of them, like Calvino's lab here. First, I want to clear out something that was unlocked from the beginning, but that I chose not to go into just so that we could take care of it all at once. Careful of all the fire around here, though. You can fairly easily extinguish those flames with glue and go get that med kit. I'm not going to risk it because I don't need one more med kit right now, and it is not worth the risk of taking fire damage. If you just put that out, however, and over here, Amy Schmidt has the key card to Ballistics Lab, which contains mimics. But don't worry, these mimics are friends. I mean, they won't be friendly if you let them out, but from where they are right now, they're friends, and they're about to do a very friendly thing for us. First thing, let me pull this grate out. I probably should have saved before doing that, because that's one that tends to physics bug, but thankfully it didn't hurt us. And we got the safe code 8609. Grab all the loose crap on the way by. And 8609. And just got some random materials in there. And Amy Schmidt was talking about how she was testing a recycler charge, and she didn't know what it was, but she got some exotic material out of it, and I'm betting that it was because she didn't realize one of the things she was testing was a mimic. She's honestly quite lucky it didn't work out much worse for her. But I will take that exotic material happily. And let me slide under here and grab all this stuff. And then up here we have the tester for the recycler, along with a note from someone who, really more let her foot be a bit too close to the recycler. That's the warning to the player of, in case you hadn't figured it out yet, don't be close to one when it goes off. Now, we could open the chamber here, but that would not be a good idea before we're releasing the recycler charge in there to take care of those mimics. Now, I like this. Aside from just being satisfying and a nice little reward, it's a nice way to demonstrate to the player what the recycler charge does without the player having to risk one of their own. Now, there's a lot of debris in here, and you can just go through the process of collecting it all up, tossing it in there, and recycling it. I don't really feel like it's worth it. Yes, there's a bunch of nice stuff in here, but I normally don't do the thing of collecting giant piles of recycling, because I find that just through the stuff that I choose to recycle normally, I usually have plenty of materials to go around. It's generally not an efficient use of the time, though it is fun and very satisfying at times. This should still be clear for now. However, as soon as we go in here and do a thing, it is going to magically spawn a phantom right here, right about in this spot. So, you know how I deal with magically spawning enemies. If I know where they are, they're going to get a present from me. Yep, that's about how that was supposed to go. It's funny, usually he, I must have done something very slightly differently, because usually he spawns after I have already come out, so maybe there's just a timing difference. But in any event, he's all dealt with, so that's good. And in here, again, just as with the mimics, don't open or unlock the firing range before first testing it out and seeing what it does. Because otherwise the phantom will just straight up run right out here and immediately aggro you. It's actually kind of cheap. But that's fine. We were equally cheap to him, so that works out. Now, this was supposed to be our first Q-beam, but of course we rather sneakily got another one. However, Q-beams are very valuable, because in addition to almost two whole units of material, they have 3 spare parts. Now, we're actually pretty flush on spare parts at the moment. We've been diligently collecting them from operators, so I'm just going to recycle that Q-beam the next chance I get. All right, let's take the organic material and a bunch of good stuff from this phantom. Now, we have to be very careful over here. There's a phantom in this room, a named phantom, and he's kind of an asshole, because if he gets up against that door, there's something wrong with the collision that permits him to actually fire his ranged attack out of the door. Absolute bullshit, but since I know that that's a glitch, I'm going to do what I can to avoid being subject to it. And I'm going to get a very important email update from Lane Carpenter's workstation. Now, I need to apologize to Lane Carpenter, because I did him dirty last time out. Last time I mentioned that I thought it was Lane who was the bit of a tool for the thing that was going on between Hutton and Josh Dalton. I got the two of them mixed up. Josh is a massive tool. Lane is just kind of trying to do his job. He's a bit of a dick, but he wasn't wrong either. I saw a bit of sparking, so I thought perhaps there was another phantom that I'd have to contend with. I do remember some spawning, but I'm not seeing any sign of them at this time, so that's good. Okay. Just make sure. Okay. So now it's time for the real quest update here, which is Lorenzo Calvino's workshop here. This is where he invented the looking glass technology, and unfortunately right now it's powered down, but fortunately that is very easy to fix. Now unfortunately just powering it on won't be enough, because one of the servers has been disconnected. So let's go over to our network utilities, diagnostics, diagnose network servers. My God, this feels like my day job, I swear. 1496 is disconnected. So let's press the magic button that I wish I had in my day job, and that's the fix server button. And we are just somehow restoring the connection, which is fantastic. I love that.
Nice work,
I
Mark.
want that
The
technology.
looking glass screens are online again. Head back to your office as soon as you can. It's important you hear the rest of your message. I'll meet you there.
Oh, we'll do that, January, but we'll do that, don't worry. But first we have a handful of things to get in here. Now, there's just random loot here and there around on the workshop, but there's also a puzzle in here. Oh, should have left that on so I can look for things like that. Thank you. Make sure that I have grabbed all the loose stuff. Now, the puzzle in here, it's hinted at in this pair of emails where Calvino is telling one person to fabricate him a custom travel mode that weighs an exact weight and telling another person to modify a scale so that it sends a signal when that weight is upon it, when that exact weight is upon it. That last email was just talking about the tech specs and it's hinting why it was so easy to shut things off. But that's not important right now. If you go to video playback here, test phase 1 is not all that important. It's just a very, very short video of them talking to each other and testing the unit.
Light-filled capture looks
However,
a little hot.
Where's the photometers?
Oops.
The
Okay.
handheld.
Where did it go?
No,
Ah, yesterday
Oh, there it
we
is,
had
tipped
two.
over.
Now I can't
So that
find
tumbler
one.
is important.
we've only ever had one.
Nonsense.
I guess you forgot.
And you will find its importance in this second video here. It's more of them talking to each other, but at the very end of it, Calvino sneaks off, and
I thought we were done.
if you look
Yeah,
at it from this
just-
side, you
just
can
turn
watch
it off
him
then.
I
doing
feel like
this,
you're upset
this exact
with
thing
me.
that I'm about to do.
No,
Just putting his tumbler on the scale,
I suppose.
and
it's
opening some
late
treats
after
up.
all. Go, sleep.
What about you?
What about me? Yeah, don't concern yourself. I'll finish.
Right. I guess I'll see you later then.
Yeah, you guess.
What?
You're always saying, I guess. That worked, I guess. I'll see you later, I guess. You're a scientist. Stop guessing. No! Or be quiet. Yeah, that's all.
Good night.
Calvino, I realize you're having memory issues. Whoa, hi! As I was saying, Calvino, I realize you're having memory issues, but you're being a bit of a dick. And I think that part of this is just that English is not Calvino's first language. So he hears, I guess, from her, and he's taking that literally rather than an idiom. And I'm pretty sure that that's the case because he uses almost the exact same idiom multiple times in multiple transcribes, including that very one just moments before, where he says, I suppose. They're the same phrase, just with a slightly different word. It's just, they're semantically identical. So he's making much ado about nothing, and I don't appreciate it because he's wrong on facts. But in any event, that may not be entirely his fault, so let's just not give him too much of a hard time about it. Actually, I didn't need to come up here. What I want to do is run back real quick before we go anywhere else and make use of the fabricator. We've got enough to craft one more Uniromod, which is great. And we've got 9 of them at the moment. That's plenty to do some spending. We've also found quite a few others, of course. Before I do anything else, I do want some more shotgun shells because I've been going through quite a few of them. I wouldn't say I'm low, but I'd like to have more than I do. And then I've got plenty of pistol ammo, and yeah, we're good. And we've got just one more asshole out here to contend with, I think. I'm pretty sure that one spawns out here in response to reactivating the looking glass. Yes? No? Maybe? Good enough for me. Now, before we left, I mentioned that I was doing some prep and I expected some nasty enemies to spawn in here. Let's see what happens to them. You should trigger the recycle grenade any moment. Oh, hi, you cigar. There it is. And that has not dealt with him. That was a close one. I could have handled that much better. What I probably should have considered doing is just throwing another recycler in there or possibly null waving him to deal with his abilities, but whatever. Whatever. It's dealt with. He's dead. No hits. I'll take it. Now, let's see. Going to be some greater mimics in here. Looks like I forgot to loot him on the way out. Nope. Nope, they have not activated. I think they just magically spawn in like that, because the turrets are not giving a shit about them.
Threat detected.
Yep, and you. Okay. I hear a mimic. Like, I swear I heard one just straight up walking around very close by. Now, maybe he's out there. If so, three turrets should be more than suffice to deal with one mimic. But okay. Let's just recycle all of that nonsense. And at long last, let's see the rest of that video.
You're not going to like what I have to say next. You have to destroy Talos 1. The research, the Typhon, nothing can survive. Including you. I know how it sounds, but you've seen what those creatures can do. They're a part of you now. If even one cell gets back to Earth, we're lost. I'm sorry. I wish there was another way. January can walk you through activating the self-destruct mechanism. Alex will try to stop you. He's allergic to failure. Too proud to go back to Mom and Dad with his tail between his legs. So it's up to you now. Good luck. Told you wouldn't like it.
Yeah, but I don't like it for a different reason than you probably think I don't. Problem is, your argument is fundamentally flawed. Because if you believe that we're lost if one cell gets back to Earth, then we're already lost. Because we already have thousands of neuromods in use on Earth. What are you thinking?
Hello, Morgan. I'm January 2035. I'm an operator. There are many operators aboard Talos 1, but none of them are like me. I'm your plan B. My first task was to free you from the simulation. Second task was to make sure you saw your video. Those are done. Interesting. New directives are now available to me. The self-destruct protocol for Talos 1 is activated by 2 arming keys. Your brother has the first. You had the second. Alex destroyed your arming key, but you hit a fabrication plan for a new one in deep storage. That's where you need to go next. We can worry about getting Alex's key afterwards. The Typhon are spreading fast, Morgan. You'll be racing against them. And your brother. This key card will grant you access to the main lift and all the labs. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to fix the lift from here. There's another route through the psychotronics lab. Morgan, that lab is where the Typhon broke containment. Please be careful. Next topic. You asked me to provide you with more neuromods, which I've done. Good luck, Morgan.
Okay, when you say more neuromods...
You designed me to assist you. I have more instructions,
hey,
but I can't access them until you've recovered both arming keys.
yeah, that's great. January, when you say you have provided me with more neuromods, you provided me with one. Neuromods, plural. Please? Thank you? Okay. Yeah, okay, whatever. But yeah, January wants us to destroy Talos 1. We are not going to do that. Not if I can help it. I would much prefer to do a different route that provides what I feel is a cleaner ending and also a more interesting one in terms of the steps necessary to make it happen. But that's fine. We'll work with January for now because he's giving us resources, and we will cross that bridge when we come to it. Oops. Didn't mean to use a sci-hyper, but alright, I guess I needed to anyway. In any event, I think that is more than enough progress for now. Next time on Prey, let's head into Psychotronics and see what... January, are you okay? Next time on Prey You Only Live Once, we're going to head into Psychotronics, get ourselves some critical upgrades, and loot and explore just about everything that we possibly can along the way. We've also got a ton of neuromods to spend, so we're going to do that at the beginning of the next episode. I hope you will join me for that. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.